For those of you that weren't at the luncheon, thanks for coming. We've got a great presentation before you from Realtor.com. As you know, we've gone through a lot of changes with our syndication, and we're really pleased to have Realtor.com back in the fold and in our family. They've got some fantastic technology changes, a lot of benefits that I think you folks are going to be very, very pleased with as you move forward. And I'd like to introduce Brenda Carnegie, our good friend from Realtor.com. She is the Director of Industry Relations for Realtor.com, and she's going to introduce her team. Come on up, Brenda.
All righty. Good afternoon. So we also have, where's Mike? Mike Martella. He's all the way from New Jersey, and and then Scott Ryder. He's actually going to be from Atlanta. He's a regional sales director for your area. So he's actually going to be speaking after I do to talk to you about some other good stuff and some promotions that we have available. How many of you were not at the luncheon? Okay, so we have a couple. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, if the rest of you will bear with me, I kind of want to set it up so they know what we're what we're talking about here. So let me pull up this other slide here real quick. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about is the new agent profiles. And I went over this during the luncheon, but for those of you that weren't here, I do want to set it up a little bit. So we've created the new agent profiles on Realtor.com. And our tagline is beautiful, easy, everywhere. So beautiful, they've got beautiful photos. You can have a picture of yourself, a background photo, kind of like on Facebook. Beautiful layout. You can add badges for your certifications. You can put information about yourself, how many years in the business, your specializations. You can pull in information from any blogs that you have, recommendations, so from LinkedIn, or if anybody uses Real Satisfied. So it's a beautiful, beautiful profile. Easy. It's very easy to set up, which I'm actually going to walk you right through. And what we mean by everywhere, in the screenshot that you're looking at, we're seeing it on a mobile device and on a tablet. So whether I'm looking at your profile with an iPhone, a Droid, tablet, a desktop, it's what we call mobile responsive, so it actually is sizing to the screen, so I don't have to scroll around. So they're very, very nice profiles. Also, what we mean by everywhere is not only can it be my Realtor.com profile, but how many of you have claimed your .realtor domain? So we've got a handful here. Great. So you can actually link your .realtor domain to your Realtor.com profile if you want to. Or you can, if you have a website, you could link to your Realtor.com profile. A company website could link to all the agent profiles on Realtor.com. We're actually working with the Jupiter MLS down in my area in Florida, and they're actually linking to the Realtor.com profile on their MLS website. So instead of just having, today they have just a boring little search result screen that comes up for their agents, and once this is live for them, they're going to see the same beautiful profile that I'm going to show you here. So real quick, again, those that saw this earlier, if you'll bear with, I just want to show the video again for those that didn't get to see it, that really kind of sums up what the profile is about.
Hi. Realtor, entrepreneur, and mother of two. Delightful kids. Like most realtors, Jane has a lot on her plate. Drawing up contracts, showing homes, creating beautiful listings and virtual tours.
My clients love me.
She's really good at marketing homes, but wasn't very good at marketing herself. That's why she uses the all-new agent profile from Realtor.com to get new leads and clients.
It's free, easy to use, and looks great. Plus, thousands of people who are ready to buy or sell a home go to Realtor.com every day to find an agent, which means great leads for my business.
Jane's new profile is the recommendation solution she's been waiting for. It makes it easy for her to acquire, enhance, and distribute client recommendations.
It's linked to my MLS ID, so whenever I finish a deal, I'm reminded to ask my client for a recommendation.
With the click of a button, Jane can send her client a pre-written email asking for a recommendation.
When my client replies to my email with a recommendation, I can approve or deny it and even share it with social media automatically.
Past recommendations can even be imported from other sites like LinkedIn and Real Satisfied.
It's so nice to finally have all my recommendations in a single place.
This is Greg, Jane's client. He just bought a home thanks to Jane's help.
I like to evaluate my decisions carefully, and Jane's profile helped. I could see she had 10 years experience and a bunch of specialized certifications. I also knew from looking at her listing activity that she knew the area well. Plus, she had positive recommendations from people like me.
And the contact button on Jane's profile sends a message directly to her inbox, regardless of which email client she uses.
I never would have been able to respond to Greg so quickly otherwise.
It's easy to attach listing pictures, videos, and other details to client recommendations, which makes Greg and Jane both look good.
I'm very happy with my home and my decision to work with Jane.
Jane's Realtor.com profile doesn't just collect and display recommendations, it makes them shine, so Jane can get even more new leads.
It markets me, so I can focus on my clients.
Strengthen your online presence with the all-new agent profile from Realtor.com.
Okay, so here's what the new profile looks like. So here's our agent, Jane Smith. You can see a nice background photo, a picture of herself, about Jane, so she can put information about her. So again, you're just telling your story. You want your background picture to tell something about, you know, what you specialize in or something, so that when the consumer is looking at this, it gives them a good idea of who you are and what you do. You can put how many years you've been in business, what you specialize in, areas you serve. It has your brokerage. Again, designations and certifications. We get this directly from the NERDS, the NAR database. And we've put these nice badges on here so that, and if you hover over it, it actually tells the consumer what that actual designation means. If you work with a team, you can also show your team information here and their photos. Here's your listing activity, and you can actually show it on the map. So in this case, I'm showing all active, this is view all, for sale, any showings, and then recently solds. And then here's some check-ins. So I'm actually linking to my Foursquare. And then I can also link to my blog. So anything that I've put on my blog, I can have it feed over to my Realtor.com profile. Same thing with Facebook. And then I can also bring over recommendations that I already have, maybe in LinkedIn or another product called Real Satisfied. And then I'm also going to show you how you can request or ask for recommendations right through your profile through your control panel, and it will send out an email to your client asking them for a recommendation. You accept it, and then it posts it to your Realtor.com profile page. So everything all together, as a client looking at this, can get a true picture of what you do and who you are. And we do see a lot of profiles that look like, let me find him here. This is our friend Aaron Nelson. Oops. There we go. I think I need glasses. Okay. All right, so this is Aaron Nelson. So look at the difference between his profile, which he has done nothing to, and Jane Smith. So a big, big difference. If I'm looking for a realtor and I'm looking at Jane Smith and I'm looking at Aaron Nelson, who am I probably going to reach out to? Right? Jane Smith. So that's what I want to show you today, is how you set up your profiles. So here we go. Okay. So you can either go to realtor.com/profile, and most of you are probably going to go down where it says sign up for the realtor.com profile. So you'll put in your name. You're going to use your MLS ID. No, you need to go to realtor.com/profile. So this is one way you can go. Now, you can also go to your realtor.com control panel. So if anybody has already set up on realtor.com a control panel where you go in and maybe add things to your listings, you can go into the control panel that way to enhance your profile. So a couple different ways you can get in there. Also, if you have claimed your .realtor domain, you will get an email, and in that email it says log in to claim your profile. So you can go right there. So there's different ways that you can do it. And I'll be happy afterwards if anybody is having issues. If you're trying to walk through it as I'm doing it, I may have to go in and look to see what we have set up for your MLS ID in there, so that you can get in. But those are the three different ways you can get in. So realtor.com/profile, go into your realtor.com control panel that you've already set up, or you can also go from this link if you've claimed your .realtor domain. All right, so once you go in, it's going to ask you to choose what state. So you're going to choose Alabama. And then your MLS, which is North Alabama MLS. And then you're going to put in your agent ID, or your MLS ID, and then hit connect. And then once you do that, it says success, you're in. Now the first screen that you're looking at here, it has your first name, last name, and then email address. And this is information that we're getting through the Nerds feed and through your MLS. So for some reason you want your name to show something different. Maybe the first name is your legal first name and you go by your middle name or something, and that's what you want to show up. Then you can change that right here and put that in how you want it to show on your profile. Okay. Now here it also is asking for an email address. So this is the email address where you would want any alerts to go to. Let's say you set it up for, if you send somebody a recommendation, where do you want that to come back to? What email address? So you can put that in there. The box underneath that is showing the information we get from Nerds. So it shows your MLS and your Nerds ID. And then below that is just saying, do you want to get emailed for recommendations? Okay, so here's where you add your photo. This is the About Me page. So the background photo, again, you want this to represent you, tell your story, right? And then you can add your agent photo. And then just hit preview. And here we have Angelo. So he's got a picture of himself and then a nice picture of a kitchen from a home. So it kind of gives you an idea of what type of properties maybe he works with, right? Okay, and then how should clients get in touch with you? So when they click on your profile, what phone number do you want to show? And again, what email do you want them to see? Then below that, you just add your professional title, broker, agent, whatever, buyer's agent. your specialties, zip codes that you serve, and yes, great question. Thank you. And let's see. Years of service. So you put in the year, and then it will automatically put in how many years, right? And then you can also do a link to your website, and that will show on your profile. All right, remember how I showed you on Jane's profile, she could show her listings, her recently sold and so forth on that map. So here's what you're selecting. You don't have to show any of that if you don't want to, or you can select what you want to show. So do you want it to show the new listings or recent listings or your solds? You can select which ones. Then below that is your designations and certifications. Now we pull these right from the NERDS, National Association of Realtors database, so we get a feed every day. So that's where that information is coming from, as well as your languages spoken. So if you need to update that, it needs to be updated through NERDS, and that'll feed over. And then hit save. And now you've got that information. Okay, so now, basically, you've kind of set up your profile, that part of it. If you want to copy over any recommendations that you already have, if you're using Real Satisfied, or if you have recommendations on LinkedIn, we're on the recommendations tab right now. So all I do is hit, so you can, you can copy over recommendations. I'll go to that screen in just a minute. You can send an email to past clients asking them for a recommendation. Or you can actually go in and add manually recommendations that you received. So those are different ways that you can get those recommendations onto your Realtor.com profile. So the first one we're doing is through LinkedIn and Real Satisfied. So if I click on, yes, I want to copy those over from LinkedIn, I get the little box that you're seeing on the left-hand side, which basically is just asking me to sign into LinkedIn and allow access. And then it will pull over those recommendations. And then the box at the very top right is for Real Satisfied, and it's just asking for you to type in your URL for Real Satisfied, and then you just hit add. So now you've connected those. If you just want to send somebody an email, which was that second option, to send an email for recommendation, just put in the email address. This is an auto email, so you don't have to type anything in. Right now, this is not editable, but I think we're going to in the future. So right now, this is the email that goes out. Again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to work with you. Much of my business is derived from referrals and recommendations, blah, blah, blah. So that goes to your client, and then they come back and in this case, she's written us a recommendation. Kelly was wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And I just noticed this morning. Our situation was very, very difficult. She made it so worry-free for us and our sheep. I'm not even going to ask about that one, but okay. So that's the recommendation that came back to you as the agent. And you just hit approve, and now that would show up on your Realtor.com profile. This is a beta, so somebody thought that was funny with our team that did that, but I didn't even notice it till this morning. I'm like, what? Okay, so that was either copying over from LinkedIn or Real Satisfied, or what we did is we just sent out an email to somebody asking for recommendation. They gave us a recommendation, we approved it, and now it's on our profile. Or here we can actually just go ahead and add it manually. So we're putting in their name, the date, what they said. You can add, like you saw in the video with that girl, she took a photo, so she's using that on the recommendation, and she took a video of her client. So that's very powerful when somebody's looking at your profile, when they see that information. So this is where you can do that. And here it's just showing if if you've already, let's say you've copied some over or you've approved them and you want to go back and add that information, a video or a photo, you can go in and edit, and that's just what it's showing you here. And then you can also click the share button down at the bottom. So not only is it on your Realtor.com profile, but now you're asking it to also share that recommendation on your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn account. And you can choose which ones. You don't have to do them all. So you're actually, so it's in both places. So very easy to share those recommendations. And then as far as linking your blogs and your social media sites like Facebook, we just go to blogs and social. So the first one is the blog post, again, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then Foursquare. If I want to show my check-ins, do you remember me showing you that on Jane's profile? She can, if she checks into a local restaurant or you know, a shop or something, it shows somebody, if I'm looking at her, wow, she really knows this community. You know, she knows the restaurant, maybe she's checked into a bicycle shop, or so it kind of just, you know, gives me an idea that she does know the area. So that's going to show on your Realtor.com profile if you want it to. So you're going to link that to your Foursquare, right? And then whenever you check in, those would show on your profile. But you have to connect it. So here, first we're doing the blog post. So if you have a blog that you do and you want it to show on your Realtor.com profile, again, you're going to link that. So you click on the blog post, put in your blog URL, and then just hit add. And that's all you have to do. And that's automatic. If you want to connect it to Facebook, same thing. You just sign into your Facebook. It'll say Realtor.com is connecting. And now you're connected. Now there's one thing that I want to point out here, though. How many of you have a business Facebook page in addition to your Thank you. Very good. Thank you in the back. That's what I want to point out. Those two little arrows that just came floating up onto my screen. It's asking you, do you want to link to your personal page or do you want to link to your business page? So just keep that in mind where you want it to go to. So that's those little switches that you can switch them on and off. Okay? And then also when you do a post and you do want it to show, you have to set it for to go global, everyone, right? But again, you probably want to use your business page. Or you can just show a link to your Facebook business page. If you don't want all your posts to show on your Realtor.com profile, you could just link them to your profile page, and that's what that box is that I'm showing you at the bottom. And then for LinkedIn, again, if you want your LinkedIn post to show on your Realtor.com profile, again, just like we did for the recommendations, you're putting in your password and then allowing access. And same thing with Foursquare if you want your check-ins on your profile. And I mean, that's really it, what you can set up on your profile. Again, can be very powerful. You want it to tell your story. And again, remember that not only are people seeing you when they're doing searches on Realtor.com, but if they Google you, you know, like I said, a lot of agents are showing up in that top 5 Google results, and you don't want to be that blank page of Aaron Nelson. We call those secret agents. You don't want to be a secret agent, right? You want people to know who you are and what you do and what you specialize in. If you need help at all, what we're showing here on the right-hand side, there's the feedback button. You can ask questions there. If you just want to give us feedback, we would love that too. Like, hey, it'd be great if it did this, or, you know, we suggest this. We do read these. So definitely, especially since this is new, We would love your feedback. And it just brings up a feedback box. It can be very simple what you type in, hit send feedback, and there you go. On the right-hand side, there's help and support. And this is actually a great place to go for videos. It's actually going to walk you through literally what I just went through. And it's actually broken down in segments. So it's not one big video. It's here's how you add your photo and this. Here's how you get recommendations. So you can do it in pieces. I think there's 3 videos. So it's pretty simple. Any questions? Does that make sense? Does it seem pretty easy? What do you think? It's easy. Okay. It's beautiful. And you can have it everywhere. Okay. All right. Well, if you have any questions, and again, if you need help, those of you if you're trying to set it up right now and there's something I can help you with, after Scott's done, I'd be happy to, I can log in and we can see what your password is if you're having any questions there. And now I'm going to turn it over to Scott. He's going to tell you about some other wonderful things and promotions. Thank you.
All right, so I appreciate you guys sticking around. What we're going to cover here real quick is just going to be a very quick overview of some of the additional services that we're offering to you guys in the market. And as Brenda alluded to, we did put together some great promotions so that we're trying to give you guys an incentive to jump back on. So the first product I'm going to mention is called Showcase. And you can showcase your listings as an agent, or you can showcase your listings as a broker. And the really primary goals of showcasing your listing is, number one, to put them out in the forefront of all the listings on Realtor.com, and number two, to be able to help them generate leads for you. So if a consumer's on our site and they type in Huntsville, Alabama, the first thing that gets pulled up is our search results page, which is this page right here. And when you showcase, you have the ability to have the gold shading on this front area, add virtual tours, add videos, add headlines, all of those types of things to your listings. And when you do this as a brokerage, you also have the ability to have your broker's logo positioned. We call it a virtual yard sign on all of your listings as well. So, you know, here's an idea. Here's just a blown up version of what that would look like, where it has the gold enhanced shading, your headline calling out this is a reduced home and it's a 4-bedroom, the animated headline, the photo count, and of course we promote the Realtor branding. And every single one of your listings would have your Realtor brand in that inset, which is also why it's very important to fill out your Realtor profile and enter your NERD number. So here's what then, when you click into the actual listing, this is our detail page. This just shows you all of the different elements of the showcase, from the integrated lead capture form, which a consumer voluntarily fills out when they have a question about your property, and then that is routed back to you in the form of a buyer lead. You have your agent business card. If we do the company program, we have your company branding, and we even help to cross-promote your other listings. So if you have multiple listings at the same time, if they pull up listing A, listings B and C would also get pulled up for you. Like I mentioned earlier, you have the ability to add a unique headline per each one of your listings, add a video and virtual tour, and schedule open houses. Now, the great thing about this is that when you have a program with Realtor.com, because we have that direct feed with the MLS, is that all of these things in the teal boxes are going to happen for you automatically once you fill out your profile the first time. So people say, oh gosh, you know, so much work to go and enhance my listings, and there really isn't. Once you come in, fill out your profile, like Brenda was talking about, then the rest of it auto-populates. So one of the other new features that we've added is that when you have a showcase solution with us, we assign you a toll-free number. And that toll-free number goes on your listing detail page. And consumers can call you directly from this toll-free number, and we'll forward that number to your cell phone, to your office, to your assistant, wherever you want that number to ring through to. And the great part of that is that we also can track those phone calls, look up the caller ID of the caller, and send you a confirmation email after that phone call has been completed, just to remind you of all the details about that particular call that came through. Can be very helpful if you're driving down the road, or if you miss the call, you don't miss the lead. So that's our showcase solution. And again, it's kind of a custom quote based on your listings and how many listings you carry. So that's just something that we could work with you guys on an individual basis with. Now, we also have the ability to what we call feature your homes. So here's the showcase listings down in this area, but above those, what we call is our featured homes. And featured homes are an ability for you to just satisfy that particular picky client by putting them above the rest of the results in that zip code, to use it as a listing tool to say, hey, list with me and I'll feature your listing for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the listing while it's really brand new. So it's a great tool to go ahead and do that above the showcase listings. Another opportunity on the site is what we call our FAQ ads, or our banner ads. And our FAQ ads give you the ability to actually have your company branding, your logo, your agent branding on our search results page. We never put that on our detail pages, right? Those detail pages belong to you, but you have the opportunity to brand with either what we call our leaderboard or our medium rectangle, or in this case, we did this as called a combination or a companion when we put both of those together. So it's just a great way, again, gain exposure and create branding. This is not really a lead generation tool, and I never tell anybody to, oh, I'm going to put my logo brand up here and here. This is really just to heighten your market awareness for your agent brand or for your broker brand. So how quickly do consumers expect a response today? What would you guys say? Last week, immediately, right? And you guys are right. This is right out of the California Home Buyers Association's survey, that over 45% of consumers said they wanted a response to their inquiries immediately. And if you go ahead and you add up, how fast, and they said, okay, 30 minutes is acceptable. There was another 25% that said within the first 25 minutes or first 30 minutes. So why are online leads frustrating? Anybody ever be frustrated with online leads? Yes. Why are they frustrating? Give me an answer. What are some ideas? Why are they frustrating? They're not qualified. There was Mickey Mouse. Okay. But you know what? So what we're finding is that there's a high volume of them, right? Because there's a lot of people inquiring. They have the high expectations, which we just talked about, and the data is scattered from a whole bunch of different places. When you submit a lead on Realtor.com, and when you go to search on Realtor.com, do you have to register? No, you don't. And so when someone comes to Realtor.com and fills out a lead form, it's voluntary. And based on that, you don't get as many of those Mickey Mouses. But hold that thought. So just so you guys realize that if you do contact a lead, within the first 5 minutes, you have 100 times greater chance of actually contacting that lead. And then if you go ahead and you call them in the first 5 minutes versus 30, you have a 21 times greater chance of actually connecting with that buyer. Why? You're going to catch them in the act. They're still online. They're still searching, right? They're still involved in their real estate search. So what we do with our 5 Street product is we can actually consolidate leads from over 80 different vendors. We could take your Realtor.com leads, your Trulia leads, your Zillow leads, your website leads, your homes and land leads. Wherever you get leads from, we can consolidate them into one place for you. And because we know you're here today at this meeting, or you're out showing a property, or you're in a closing, right? What we'll do is we'll actually send an automated email or text message response to let the consumer know that, hey, we got your inquiry. Let us get back to you here, or when somebody from my team in the next 10 minutes. How would that be? Now they know that they're actually in that queue and that you're going to help serve them. So once that happens, if you have a team or if you don't, this feature can be either turned on or turned off. Is if you had a team, you could broadcast your leads to a team to see who could to claim that lead first. If you don't have the lead, then obviously that part doesn't have to play. So when your leads go through 5 Street, they'll come right to your phone. If you are claiming it, you can go ahead and hit claim this lead, and then it'll let them know that it's no longer available if you have multiple people that are trying to claim it. But here's the cool part. Remember we talked about those leads were bad or they weren't really a good lead? What we've done is we've actually gone ahead, because Realtor.com has a national database of listings right through the MLS, we can take that lead that came in from a different source and we can go ahead and pop that up against the current listed properties. So if you get a make me move lead or a coming soon lead or a pre-foreclosure lead, we'll tell you right up front that that lead may not be actually listed. Then what we do is we go out to consumer data and we look at Facebook, LinkedIn, and tax records to find out if this lead currently maybe owns a home, how long they've lived in there, from their LinkedIn profile, what their education level is, and approximately how old they are from their Facebook page. So now, I'm not telling you guys to go and say, hey, this is Scott, I'm 45-year-old, I'm 45-year-old too, you know? We're not looking for you guys to do that because that would be kind of creepy, right? But what we're trying to say is, to those points in the audience earlier, is it a valid lead? And based on kind of showing you some of this background information, we can help you validate that this maybe really is a good opportunity for you. So then you have a little dashboard of all the leads you're getting and from all the different sources. Why is that important? Well, this way you can start to measure your ROI. You can start to look at, well, what sources are giving me the most leads? What leads are giving me the most higher price points? What sources are giving me rental leads versus for sale leads? And you can start to really dissect what you're doing and how you're managing your business. So, and then the last little element to this is that, all right, great, you have this lead, but what doesn't happen, and I'm gonna see if I can show you this little timeline here, see if I put this here we go, is when do online buyers buy? Do they buy the minute that you get that email into your inbox? Do you know that we've seen that there's a continuum out to as far as 420 days after an online lead comes in that they actually still convert? It's the person who is dreaming of the promotion. It's the person who's getting married in a year. It's the person who's thinking that they're going to go ahead and get that inheritance, right? That they start looking out to start seeing what's going on. I'm kind of joking with you, but there is a long period of time that sometimes those online leads are dwelling. So what's important for you to do is to stay in touch with those leads. And one of our other products called Top Producer has a little feature on it called the follow-up coach. How would you like somebody every morning to tell you which 5 of the contacts in your database that you should be going ahead and calling that day? And with the follow-up coach, it does just that. It populates 5 contacts that you haven't called or that you've assigned a task to call up that day for you to go ahead and make and reach out and call those people and keep in touch with them maybe as far as 60, 90, or 365 days out. And it's real easy. You can click on a little template, a little automatic email pops up. You can customize it, write a little custom message in it, hit send, and the next thing you know, your lead is touched and you've communicated with that person from your database. So last little thing to tell you about is called Market Snapshot. Who's ever been at a cocktail party or at a reception and someone walks up to you and says, how's the market? Has it happened to anyone? Yeah? Okay. What do you tell them? It's great. Unbelievable. You know what my line was when I was a real estate agent when I was in production? I said, why? Are you looking to buy or are you looking to sell? Right? And it seemed to work well. But think about all those times that you've been approached at a party and people ask you about the market. How would you like to be able to tell them, how about I show you? And they go, okay, haven't heard that one before. With our Market Snapshot product, you could go ahead and register them down to the granular neighborhood level of what's going on in their neighborhood. Now, it's not a CMA about their property, right? This is a trend of what's happening in their market. And what information do they care about most? Do they care about what's happening on the south side of town when they live on the north side of town? No. They want to know what's happening in their neighborhood. So with Market Snapshot, they can go ahead and you can set it up for them, or you can give them, you link to your landing page, which is what one of these are, and they can sign up for a snapshot of their market. And what will happen is on a monthly, bi-monthly, or weekly basis, we'll send them a updated snapshot of what's going on in their neighborhood. Yes, sir. Not yet. We're almost there. Almost there. Drum roll, hold the please, right? So really what happens here is you get to be able to look at the average days on market. Is there a trend of the prices going up or down? What's the median sold price? How's the number of properties? Are people going on the market, or is there people coming off the market? So it gives them a snapshot. And then it also shows them some of the detail right in here about their properties, and they get a really nice top zoom. So next time you're out of this reception, the next time you're at the party and someone asks you how's the market, you can say, let me show you. And here's what we found. When you first start signing them up, they go out every month. But the people have the ability to go in and change the frequency. The folks that start to change the frequency from monthly to bi-weekly or from monthly to weekly, guess what they're doing? They're raising their hand. Those are your people that you need to better reach out to and say, hey, love to get together for a cup of coffee. Don't tell them, hey, I noticed you changed your setting on your market snapshot to weekly. No, you want to say, hey, let's get together. This is a good time to talk, because guess what? They're probably thinking about listing, okay? So you asked me about pricing, so you couldn't have teed it up better. Normally, our top producer CRM is $39 a month. Our market snapshot is $64. And our 5 Street is $25 per month per user. What we've done for the promotion for the MLS is we've reduced the top producer CRM down to $32.95 per month. We've taken market snapshot from $64 and we've reduced that down to $54.95 per month. And we've taken our 5 Street product from $25 down to $19. And those are all as an individual, a la carte. You can buy one, you can buy the other. You don't have to do any combos or anything like that. However, if you did want to go ahead and look at doing our 5 Street Market Snapshot and Top Producer bundle, it'd be $99.95 for all three. If you wanted to do just Market Snapshot and Top Producer together, that would be $84.95. And then if you wanted to do 5 Street and Market Snapshot, that would be $67.95. So some aggressive pricing for us trying to launch back into the industry, back into the local market here, and get you guys excited about working with the products that we're offering from Realtor.com. Now, one last thing, if we did do, and if you want to come back to this, we've also done our featured home products with 50% off. So those are those 4 boxes that are on the top of our organic search results. Those are 50% off for you guys, and all of our banner ads are 25% off. So this is an ongoing promotion right now for the near term that we're offering to get you guys to come back out to Realtor.com and check us out. So, any questions? No? Yes? What pricing or off? Oh, it's the banner ads are 25% off. The featured homes are 50% off. And again, the featured homes are the ones that are on the top 4 boxes that rotate. There's 8 spots total. And the banner ads are the ones that are on the leaderboard or those medium rectangle display ads, right? So those are those. The featured home is by zip code. And there's kind of a city associated to it as well. So we'd have a Huntsville city name, but then break it down to an individual zip code area. Yeah. Yep. 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 So, when you guys would, call in to our customer care team, and we can let them know that you're part of the Huntsville, Alabama MLS. Based on that, this is where you guys qualify for the discounted pricing. Now, if anybody's interested in doing a company-wide program, if you're any brokers here today and you want to look at possibly doing a showcase program from a broker-wide, we also have a tremendous opportunity with our showcase product. We're doing some pretty special things there as well that I can talk to anybody individually about. Okay? Anything else? All right, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll be here for a couple minutes too, packing up, if anybody has any personal questions. So that's all I wanted to cover today. So thank you.